Hey y'all, most of y'all I'm sure know Ray with RayRay's Lawn and Landscape. He just recently made a video kind of breaking down, giving his opinions on my video I just recently made about the overview of this year. And I'm just making this video in response to that to kind of explain a few things. And I feel that I didn't explain it quite enough in the video, and it'll make a lot more sense, I believe, that once he knows this stuff. And I want to say, first off, I asked him to give me his opinion on it, and I really appreciated that he took the time to make a video. I certainly didn't expect that. That goes to show that he's willing to go above and beyond to help out other guys in the industry and on YouTube and whatnot, and I really do appreciate that. I'll have his channel link in the description below. Anybody that don't know him or whatever can check him out. He's a really awesome guy. But and honestly, because he made the video, there's quite a few subscribers from, I'm sure, his channel, or at least watchers of his channel, have come over and subscribed to me. So I really, really appreciate that. I gained almost like 8 subs or more because of that, which I didn't ask him or expect anything at all from this. I figured at most he would comment back and forth a little bit, and that'd be about it. But he went above and beyond what I figured would happen, and I do appreciate it. But this response video, I just want you to know, Ray, that this is not me trying to be a smart ass or nothing of the sort. It's just going to kind of explain my end of decisions and what happened and the various things like that. But I do believe in the end your main point about getting a new mower is still certainly going to stand, which I understand. I do understand that, but I'll get to that a little bit later. Now, one of the first points that Ray made is about the building that I bought, and I do regret buying that. The reason I bought it is I currently keep my setup on the trailer in the garage, and my garage is it's made absolutely horrible. It's made kind of catty corner to the house. It's hard to get into, and the new trailer is so wide that it literally rubs the seal on the door, on the side of the door frame, whenever I come in and out. The taillights, the taillights rub the seal. So I was hoping the building would be big enough to keep my setup in, easier to get in and out of and whatnot. And at the time, I bought it through somebody that buys new old stock stuff and resells it. And I paid $1,500 for it at the time. On the website at the time, these buildings come out of Canada, and at that time they were $1,800 on the site plus shipping. So probably about $2,300 by the time you get the thing. Now they are on sale, and they want $2,500 plus shipping. I'm not trying to justify my purchase because it was complete. It was an impulse buy. I found the building on Craigslist, and I was thinking that's absolutely perfect. I got to go get it. I went and got it, and it's not what I expected it to be. I should have checked into it a lot more. That's a complete, utter hit on my part. I understand that. I know that. I'm trying to get whatever I can out of it. I'm kind of willing to take a hit on it. It's not really in the way right now, but I would like to free up that much room. It's been in my garage ever since I got it, so it's not been in the weather. It's never been took out of the crate. I did open the crate to look at it and look at the instructions, but that was all I did. and I just want to try and get as much out of it as I can because I'm not going to put it up. I'm going, if I do get more storage later on, what I'm thinking about doing at some point or another is getting a Connex box to put in the backyard and build a 20-foot wide lean-to off of that, a 40-foot Connex box. And I know that here I am in the hole and asking and whatnot, and here I am talking about spending $5,000 on some sort of storage like that. I know. But so that's the deal about the building. It was a complete impulse buy, completely stupid, shouldn't have bought it. I know. But I'm not trying to justify it at all. But the price has literally doubled on what they want new. So it's not like somebody could go and buy it new, and they're not local. I don't think they sell them locally around here at all, or in the U.S. at all. They come from Canada, I'm pretty sure, and that's the only place they come from. But their price has literally doubled. So, and I have had people interested in buying it, but things just never have fallen through. Like I said again, I'm not justifying it. I know it's, well, I paid the money and I'm stuck with it now, and I ain't and blah blah blah. But like I say, I looked into it and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And then too, in the middle of summer, I never did have the time to put it up. And then in September, toward the end of the season, when the season started to slow down, I could have had the time to fool with it. I got a herniated disc, and I've been down and out with that ever since. Lately, I've been feeling pretty well. I probably could have worked on it, putting it up, but I'm just going to, if I can get rid of it, get rid of it and get something better. So that's explaining my side of the building. And next up will be the DR mower. At the time, I thought I could use a DR mower. I had a brush job that I thought I could use it on. It ended up, in the end, I didn't even do the brush job because I never had the time to. I still continued doing lawn maintenance throughout the year, but I didn't do the brush job. The customer got somebody else for the brush job. But and I wouldn't have been able to use the mower anyway because the ground is so rough. I didn't know that at the time because it was brushed over. But the DR mower, you're lucky to find those things used for less than $1,000. I know you didn't notice what I paid for it in the video, Ray, and don't think that I'm complaining or nothing. You said you didn't know for sure, and I'm just saying I paid $700 for it. So that is a good deal on the mower. Did I end up really needing it? No. But if I do sell it at some point, I could certainly get my money back, if not more. But I should have kind of researched on them a little bit because this thing does not have any brakes on it, like no handbrakes or anything, which is kind of bad. And that's my fan going off again, my turbo cooling fan. But anyway, so the DR mower probably was wasting the end. Toward the end of the year, I did have a job come up that I could have used it on, but it was kind of a steeper property. I've worked on that property before, and I didn't want to risk my helper hurting himself or anything with the mower. He probably wouldn't have, honestly. It's not that steep, and he's better on his feet than I am, but my back was in such bad shape I couldn't do the job anyway. So there's two opportunities. Well, one, because the other one wouldn't have worked anyway. But I had two opportunities to use the mower, the DR mower. So it's a potential moneymaker, but I don't know. I may end up selling it. I'm not sure. But like I say again, I'm just explaining my side of it. I'm not trying to justify and contradict you, Ray. I understand and I agree that the building and the mower, the DR mower, were definitely kind of a waste. I shouldn't have even fooled with. That's $2,200 right there, more or less wasted. Now for hand tools, I can't remember exactly what I bought. I don't have my receipts with me currently, but I bought mostly stuff like for my garage because in the wintertime, I flip mowers. Like I buy old lawn tractors and different things and fix them up and try and resell them just to give me something to do through the winter. And I bought some tools that I kind of needed. I bought probably some battery hand tools. I bought the hedge trimmer attachment for my combi, just various things, hand tools. Sure is a lot. It was $1,200 for hand tools and various tools and whatnot, but it's all going to be used. And again, I'm not justifying it. I understand what you're saying, that it was a big expense, but another point is I did plan to have some expenses this year. Certainly not as much as what I end up having, but I was going to have some expenses this year for tax reasons. And this is I believe my third year going full time. This is I believe my third year going into this on a bigger scale. Now, one of the things about my growth this year, I practically doubled my clientele this year from last year. Like, I didn't just slowly grow over last year and then grow a little bit more this year. I went from, at the start of the year, from what I had from last year to double almost at the beginning of the season. I gained that many clients that quick. And yes, I do have a number of things that are just trim jobs, but I do make pretty decent money on those. I don't have many of them. I have one yard that it's just a once a month cut. It's only $40. It don't take very long, and the guy's he's had multiple strokes. He's wheelchair bound, various things. I just do that kind of help him out, but just various little things. But as far as weekly and bi-weekly properties, I have 18 or so that were weekly or bi-weekly, and only one of which pretty much the whole season was weekly. So that's probably another point that some people would argue is the amount of how much I charge for the bi-weeklies. I should be more. I am going to up my prices on some yards that I've had for a longer time. The ones I just got last year, I'm not going to, because that wouldn't be fair to, I don't think, to up prices on everybody after I've just served them for one season. So some of the older properties I've had longer, I'm going to try and up my prices on them. Now, some people may say to be firm on that and whatnot, but I'm not going to risk losing good clients over $5 or $10. I'm going to talk to them about it. If they're willing to go up $5 or $10, great. If they ain't, I make decent enough price. I make decent enough money on the lawns that I can stay at that price and not be hurt. I know Ray don't know where I'm at or whatever, but and I am subscribed, Ray. But I am from Southwest Virginia. Depending on how you go, I'm about 15 minutes from Kentucky and Tennessee border. I'm in the very tip of Virginia, as far west as you can get. Around here, I know you're real big on talking about the commercial mowers and whatnot. The higher end, more professional outfits that are around here. Now, as far as I know, there's very, very, very few guys around here that do lawn care full time. They may do it a lot more than I do because they got the time and whatever and the yards that are allow them to, but there's very few people around here that do it full time. A lot of school teachers, a lot of prison workers, different things, such around here do lawn care on the side. But my main point is a lot of companies around here run the same mowers as I do. They actually use the next size tractor up from what I have. And there are a few that use zero turns, but let's take a perfect example. A client I picked up last year, she ended up selling the house by the end of the year. I'm adding this in after I've worked on editing some of this stuff, the story that I was going to say about the client that I picked up earlier this year that ended up selling the house, her property, the entire property is on a hillside. And to me, it's not very steep. Some places it's a little bit steep, but the first cut of 2020 was done by another company that she found before I come along. I actually found her through a junk removal job. She called me to do junk removal, and I later ended up getting her yard from her, or getting her yard to do. But anyway, she was saying that the guys with zero turns on this not very steep, to me, property were so scared of mowing the property, it took them like, I think she said about 4 hours to do it. And me and my helper with lawn tractors, garden tractors, could knock it out in about an hour, maybe a little over an hour, because it's about a 3/4 of an acre yard. So, and they charged her $100 to do that yard. And I'd say the biggest reason they charged so much was because it was that pucker expense. They pinched a hole in their seat on them zero turns sliding around, so they had to buy a new seat. But there's certainly properties where people could use zero turn around here, but a lot of them you can't. And if you do, you're a daredevil. You're flirting with flipping one of them things over. And the only risk that I really have with my mowers is maybe flipping backwards. And I took care of that. That's one of my biggest expense, or one of my bigger expenses on mower maintenance, was tubes and fluid to be put in the tires, which I had the shop do it. I put the fluid in. I had them put the fluid in, and I had one of them that kept popping the tube. I had to replace the tire because it was bad on the inside and whatnot. But that was a pretty big expense there itself, was the ballast for the mowers. Which is another thing I want to say real quick, is probably at the most, I probably had close to 30 properties this year. I let go some, and some ended, whatnot. So at the most, I probably had about 30 properties in total. So that's a little bit better than what 25 is. But anyway, I can think of a handful of guys around here that mow, and I would say most of them don't even have 50 yards. I know one company, they run, I think, X750s. John Deere X750s, which is the next size up from what I have. It is a 3-cylinder diesel, 2-wheel drive tractor. And they run 2 of them. Most yards, one guy weed eats, the other guy mows, same as I do, or sometimes if they got side by side, they both run mowers, whatever. They got 2 mowers. They got nice big truck, trailer. They said that one time they mow, I think, 40 yards a week, and they both work at the prison. So I don't know if that's bi-weeklies and they have actually more than that, or if that's actually weekly properties and they have 40 of them. I don't know. That's what they told me. But that's the kind of mowers they run. Another guy, I haven't talked to him a whole lot, but I know him. He runs the same mowers. He's got a big truck, trailer, whatnot. He does it full time. He drives a bus for the school. He drives the school bus for this area, but he's full time into mowing. And I've heard a number of people say he charges really high. But that's good for him. I mean, if he can get them prices, he can get them prices. I'm lucky to get them prices. I'm not being full of myself, whatever. I do quality work. And most of my customers say that. There is one guy, one outfit that I know of around here that is big. My helper actually used to work for him. And he says that company has about 300 clients or something like that. But guess what kind of mowers they run? You'll never believe it. Residential, bad boy, zero turns. And I mean the residentials. I mean not the mid-grade residential like that's on the border of being a commercial. I mean mid-grade, I mean low-grade commercial zero turns. Like the $3,000, $3,500 zero turns. That's what they run. They do run Stihl, professional equipment and whatnot like that. But for mowers, that's what they run. The whole demographic, I think, of the lawn care community in my area is, it would blow you all away. A lot of people that watch, a lot of people that are on YouTube, it would just blow you all away at the kind of, number one, the properties that I mow around here and that are around here, and the kind of companies that are around here. Not taking bad about them, keeping your overhead down like that. If you can put just a little bit of money into a mower like that and go out and make a lot of money with it and then trade it in or whatever every 2 years, probably better off for you. But that is the kind of companies that are around here, and that is the reason that I'm running tractor mowers instead of zero turns. I don't know what kind of hills that you mow, Ray, and I don't know. I mean, a good operator could probably put a zero turn on some steep hills. I've run zero turns quite a bit. I know how to handle them, but the only places I've ever run them was flat ground. But there is quite a few people around here that do have commercial grade zero turns, and very, very few of them around here have standers, and even fewer of them have walk behinds. And the only person that knows for sure in this kind of area, and he's been after me about getting a stander forever, and I just don't think that I could do it, because, especially right now, because of my weight. I weigh 440 pounds. And I can about guarantee going up some of the hills that I go up, they would rear up on me. A stander would. Now, I mentioned I have a herniated disc. My feet, I broke my leg back in 2013, and I hurt my back last year a little bit. And I've always had problems walking on hills. My feet slide out from under me, or it hurts my feet to walk on heels, and just various things. So really a walk behind is kind of out of the question for now. Some people will say, well, lose weight and you'll make it better, and walk behind would help you lose weight, and blah, blah, blah. I've been big my whole entire life. I have underactive thyroid disease. I'm not making excuses, but weight loss is very hard. I've tried multiple times, and this is where I'm at still yet. So, and then another reason that I can't exactly justify buying a zero turn, I'd have to really try it. I do have quite a few flat properties, but the biggest reason that I want to stay away from a zero turn is because I just don't want to buy something that is only a one thing use, a one trick pony. Because I want to get, whenever I get something, it's going to be a X700 series. And some people say, well, why don't you get a one family tractor, the John Deere 1025R or something there like that? Because a subcompact tractor is higher up off the ground, has a higher center of gravity, and is more likely to tip over on my lawns. The X700, sure, it don't have loader and backhoe capacity, but you can put a 3-point hitch and a PTO on that tractor and do tractor stuff with it. That's what I want to do. I want to get a small bush hog. I thought about getting one of them. I may not until I know I have enough use for one, but I definitely want to get a garden tiller, because I do have a little bit of a market for garden tilling. Plus, we put out a garden ourselves, and having a small garden tiller tractor like that would be nice to have around the house. As far as my business standpoint, last year was my second year in business, and I turned profit. I had my mowers paid off, I had everything paid off at that time. I was actually about $3,000 ahead. I'll go ahead and say that I was about $3,000 ahead. Well, this year, it it's probably a lot. It's a lot worse than what you may realize, Ray. I don't know if you really. I'm not talking bad. I'm just going to say it again so you know. I spent the $12,000 that I earned plus another $9,000 somehow. I mean, I know how, but damn. But because of my growth this year, that is why I got the trailer, because I was using my helper. He would mow with one mower, I'd mow with the other. I had a 12-foot. I've still got a 12-foot trailer, and I couldn't fit both my mowers on the 12-footer. So that's why I got the bigger trailer. Plus, if I get a newer mower like a 700 series, it wouldn't fit with another mower for sure on the trailer, the little trailer. Now I know that some would argue, well, you still wouldn't need but one mower even if you have a helper to do 25 yards. My thing is, the schedule I was working during the summer was our normal schedule. We've worked like 5 or 6 different schedules this year because of the China flu. But anyway, I was working 6 days a week straight, and then off 3 days. Work 5 days straight, off 3 days, and then the third week I'd only work 1 day in that whole week, and I would try and take that day off if I could. But anyway, in that 3-day period I would have off, I was trying to only mow 1 day, if at all possible, so I could have at a minimum of 1 day off. Sometimes I would mow 2 days or whatever, but I would try to have as much time off as I could. It was pretty taxing this year. I was thinking this schedule would be better, but it really wasn't. I mean, it was just as taxing as it had been when I worked at the other place. I worked for the same company, but I used to work in a different position. But anyway, so that is my justification for the bigger trailer. And I understand some may still think that, it wasn't worth it really or whatever. That's my justification for it. Plus, I mean, it's still a good investment. I mean, I'm not trying to justify it by that either, but who doesn't like a bigger trailer? I mean, come on. If I had a truck for it, I would I'd have like a 20-foot trailer or some crap to do some stuff with. But anyway, that's my justification for a trailer. Now, parts and supplies, online purchases, and mower maintenance, that's really all the same stuff because it all went to the same stuff. Like, I bought oil, stuff that I bought online was all parts. Most of the work that I've done to my primary mower, I did myself because it was deck lift assembly stuff and belt changes and different things like that. And all them parts for the deck lift assembly certainly added up quick. And I had to put a battery on all 3 mowers this year and just various things. Now, my X540, I know that, I don't know if you ever looked into what kind of mowers I have or whatever, Ray. My John Deere X540 is, if you could say it like this, is pretty much an entry grade commercial tractor. It's a very heavy duty tractor for what it is. It is a belt driven hydrostatic transmission with differential lock, power steering, power deck lift, and a 54-inch mower. Now, that mower, when new, was between $750 and $9,000. And again, I'm not trying to be a smartass, but to me, any mower that costs more than $4,000 is a commercial mower, especially if it's a tractor type. I know that places like Lowe's and whatnot, like them Airings, mowers, and Bad Boy has some mid-grade zero turns and various things like that. But this mower, like I say, it's very heavy duty. It has a liquid cooled Kawasaki carbureted V-twin, and that's a very expensive engine. Well, back in the day it wasn't, but the thing is they discontinued that engine. That's why I put the money into that engine. I could probably have bought a air-cooled Kawasaki for what I put into the motor, but I'm not entirely sure if everything would have hooked up just right or whatever, because where it's liquid cooled, I don't know if sensors would work, various things like that. I don't know what might would happen with, trying to do an engine swap or whatever. Besides, I would rather have the liquid cooled Kawasaki than a air cooled, because air cooled engines are a lot more likely to pull in a lot of dirt under the shrouds and various things like that could cause problems if not properly taken care of. Since I've had the X540, as far as I know, I've never overheated it. I don't know how the head got cracked. Don't know if that was from overheating or where or what, but I had to put the head work into it, and I had to do the deck lift work. Now, some things that I paid into my mowers this year was kind of creature comfort type things. I bought a new seat for both mowers because neither one of them had the pads on them no more. I got the pads for the X540, but I can't figure out how to glue them on there properly or whatever. But I bought seats for them, and that completely changed the mowers. I've run them without pads for quite some time, and I slide everywhere on them, and it just wasn't comfortable. So seats were about $300 for two of them alone. If I wasn't doing lawn care at all, I would put the money into my 540 because it would still be cheaper for the most part to put money into it than to go and buy a brand new one for now. And then two, I bought the mower used 3 years ago for $3,250, and it had 700 some hours on it then. It's now got 1,100 hours, and as far as I know, it's got the original spindles on the deck, it's got the original transmission, original engine, and original PTO clutch. I have seen commercial zero turns with less than 1,000 hours and have blown up engines and bad wheel motors and pumps. I know that may come down to the type of person that's taking care of it and various things, but this engine or this lawnmower, with proper care, I could see 3,000 hours of use out of it easily. I know zero turns can too, but with the type of properties I have, the type of mower that it is, it's going to last. Now, the GT235, it was given to me a couple years ago or a year ago or whatever, and it had 900 some hours on it when I got it. I had to put a little bit of money into it when I originally got it to get it up and going, and then this year I had to put more money into it because the deck, more or less, parts of it needed rebuild, not the whole entire thing, and the engine needed the carburetor or something about the fuel, whatever, needed a little work to get it to go good. And I put the seat on it, put new batteries in it, new belts in it, and that's what added up the total, plus the shop time. Now, I'm mechanically inclined. I could have probably done the work myself, but I didn't know if the heads of the engine block on my 540 weren't flat or anything like that. I didn't know. That's why I took it to the shop. They charged like $100 an hour to get it fixed. It and the GT235 as well. So half of the cost of just those two mowers being in the shop, not including all the parts and everything that I've done to them, half of the cost was labor alone. And again, I know that's a huge expense and everything, but for now I had to do it. I mean, I don't know if some people might would think that it would have been better for me, still yet been better for me to just buy a new mower or finance a new mower or whatever. But I had to get them going to get by. And the Cub Cadet, it's nowhere near my primary mower. I got that for free off a customer of mine. I fixed it up and I give it to my aunt, actually. And I've had to use it quite a bit this year because of the problems with the two that I've got. But it's not, I've planned to not use it at all next year if I can. So, and the GT235, when it was new, as you can see here, it was a $6,000 mower itself. I mean, that's not a rinky-dink tractor mower. And I'm not saying that you said that, Ray. I'm just saying, you know, let's say right now, if you went to Lowe's, it's not no Lowe's mower. Neither one of them are. If you went to Lowe's and got their top-of-the-line John Deere tractor mower, they're what, $3,500 or something? The GT235 was double that because of what it is. It's a garden tractor. Now, it don't have all the bells and whistles, that's for sure. It's got a very heavy-duty rear end in it. It's not diff-locked. It's manual steering, manual deck lift. And it does have a Briggs Vanguard V-twin on it, 18 horsepower. So it's got a very good engine on it. That kind of, I hope that I've covered some of those points and give you a little bit more understanding on my side of things and whatnot. I looked into early in the year, at the beginning of the year, about getting a new mower. And again, I know zero turns could boost my productivity and whatnot, but I'm telling you, a lot of people around here run the same type of mowers because of the type of yards that are around here. I demoed a Skag earlier this year, and I used it on my commercial property, and it's not very steep, and that mower was sliding everywhere. And it's these yards around here, it's just going to take one little slip up that could kill me, honestly. I have one property, the front yard slopes down. I mean, it's probably every bit of that steep, if you can see that. The little over the bank area. I can mow all that with my John Deere. If I took a zero turn across that, there's a retaining wall at the bottom that's about 4 foot tall that goes to the sidewalk. It's in the middle of the town. If I tried to go down that way with a zero turn, I would slide off for sure. I might get back down it or whatever, but I most likely would get stuck trying to climb back up. I mean, I don't have video really to be able to show just what type of yards, some of them, how steep they are and whatnot, but I just can't for right now justify paying $10,000 for a mower that is not only a one-trick pony, but I can't use on every single yard. And sure, I could keep my X540 and use it on the yards that I can't, but what's the point of that when I could have two mowers that can handle all my yards, and my helper can help me do it, and we can knock it out twice as fast. On the dumpster trailer that I'm trying to build, that is kind of a that is kind of a little side gig that I'm wanting to try and see if there's any business for. And if it don't work out, I could sell it. And I know you say to just stop on that project for now, but the problem is I've already bought everything that I need for it. I just got to put it together. So it's a little too late for that. But if it don't work out, I can easily sell it. So, and I can get my money back out of it for sure. I've got about $1,200 invested into it. I could easily get $2,000 out of the trailer. Besides, I can use it for other things, brush jobs if I need to, hauling hay, just whatever. I might could put it up as a hauling service until I get a bigger truck and trailer, just whatever. I'm not saying that those reasons justify putting the money into it and building it and whatnot, but it's a smaller step than what I would like to do, is getting a truck and trailer and offering hauling services. It's a smaller step towards that I can still do with my truck currently, at least to a degree, and it's a multi-function trailer potentially. Now, as far as going full-time or part-time, honestly, I think what it boils down to, I would love to go full-time and be able to do all these different things that I'm wanting to do. And I, like you say, you've got too many irons in the fire, but it would be nice if I could go into doing that. But I think what I'm going to ultimately do is as much as I can and still work full time, which is why I would like to get into the hauling services, because that's something, especially in the summertime when the days are longer, that I could do after work. I could work a 12-hour day and potentially do a little hauling for people, you know, in the 4 hours or whatever after work, a few hours after work, and, you know, potentially make more money. What I'm thinking about doing for now, and you may think that I'm just completely disregarding your advice, but at 1,000 hours, I know that's a lot of hours and whatnot, but those mowers that I have now should be like new. In 1,000 hours, the only thing that has really went bad on them, the one had the head work, that's unforeseen. I don't know what caused it exactly, but the only thing that has went bad on those mowers that needed to be replaced, that affected their function, was the deck lift assemblies and deck parts and whatnot, and that's all fixed. I truly believe that they could easily withstand at least one more season. If I can have another good season like I had this year, sure, I'll only be up by $4,000 or so at the end of the year if I had produced the same numbers as I did this year on income. But I would be better off to get a mower next year, I believe, if I can make it this year with what I've got after what I've put into them. I know this video was kind of all over the place, and I hope that shed some light on the way things are. And again, not dismissing your advice, Ray. I do believe that if I were to do anything, it would be to finance a mower. I still do kind of feel that, especially now that they're fixed and good to go, I do believe they could make another season, at least one more season, which I was saying the same thing last year, that I was hoping this year to get a new mower, but just circumstances, 2020, you know, fucked everything up. So that's how things are going to be, I believe. One thing that you mentioned is like truck maintenance or mower maintenance or whatever, about doing a lot of it yourself. Now, I know I could easily, I'm sure, do my own oil changes and whatnot, but a lot of people say, a lot of people say they could do their own oil changes cheaper themselves. There's no way. There's seriously no way. I mean, I don't know what the garages in your area charge for an oil change. My garage charges $38 for an oil change. A 6-quart oil change. As you can see, this is the oil that I use. By the time I buy the filter, I would have $38 or more into the oil change, and I still have to do it myself. So, stuff like that, yeah, I'm going to take it to a garage to have done, that's for sure. Now, things like the brake work that I had done on the truck, I've never done. I understand, and I know I'm mechanically inclined. I understand how a lot of things work and how they're done, but I've never done them myself. So the brake work and different things like that, I could have saved a lot of money there. Well, I honestly, I couldn't have saved a whole lot of money because the garage that I took it to, the guy's a real good friend of ours, and I think he only charged like maybe $100, if that, in labor, and the rest of it was all parts. And he had to weld a shock mounts to my truck because they was rusted out, do the brake work, rewire a high beam, just, a lot of stuff he done, and labor was the bare minimum of the cost. Now, all the parts and everything is what went into that on the truck. Now, on the mowers, like I said before, that was half the cost was labor. $100 an hour, 2 hours on the little mower, the GT235, and 8 hours on the X540. So that's $1,000 alone in labor. The rest was $1,000 or more in parts. So I did spend out, got kind of screwed over there, but that's the way it goes. So, like I say, I just hope that maybe this sheds a little light on the type of area I'm in, the demographic of mowing companies and whatnot, the yards types, the reasoning, just whatever. I hope that you don't think that I'm being a smart ass. Now, like I say, I'm just contradicting everything that you said in the video, Ray. But either way, I do agree that a lot of stuff that I spent out shouldn't have happened, or could have been remedied if I just bought a new mower. Various things. I understand that and agree on a lot of it. Like I say, this is just me explaining the circumstances and whatnot. But anyway, I really appreciate all the new subscribers that have come over from Ray's channel. I know a lot of them that I gained in that amount of time had to have come from Ray's channel. But I really appreciate all my subscribers, and I really appreciate your content, Ray. I enjoy watching your videos, and I appreciate you taking the time to go above and beyond anything I could have ever expected when just asking for an opinion on my circumstances and whatnot. And the reason being that I even asked anybody at all, I've asked a couple of people now what they think, and my thing is about the expanding, about the guy getting a truck, getting a whatever, and doing other things. It's all stuff that I've been thinking about for the last 3 years, and I'm driving myself insane thinking about it. I think, well, I could do this, and I could do X and do Y, and then, oh well, if I do that, I'm going to go in the hole. If I'm not, I'm just thinking about it all the time, and it's driving me crazy. I just wanted somebody else's input on some of that stuff, and that's what it is. Anyway, I appreciate it. I'll see y'all later.